Well, good morning, folks. 20 to 10, Wednesday the 19th of February. And what are we going to be doing? Well, we're going to get the wheels for the tractor and that sandblaster that are being took to the blasters tomorrow. I need to pop to Kings Lynn today to hopefully pick up the front wheels, which have had the tyres took off. And yeah, there's a couple of other bits I'm getting blasted as well. The little Barnard down here, we're going to get a couple of bits blasted on him, mainly his trolley and wheels. So you haven't really seen much of this little Barnard, but I want to get it done for this season. So in this short video, which I think I'm going to tack this on the back of another little video I've already done, so you'll have, like, I think it's going to be testing the winch, having a look at some other bits, and we're going to get this engine and pump off to bulk the video up a bit, so it's about 45 minutes long. Hopefully this engine will come off here, so without any further ado, let's have a look at this little Barnard. So folks, here is the said Barnard engine, and I want to get this whole engine off. But I think what I'm going to do is take the tins off, which is straightforward. This top tin does lift off because I've already connected the fuel line ages ago, putting in the box. I want to get this tin off. I'm not 100% sure how this tin come off, so this is what we've got to weigh up. I assume this tap got to come out. Does this tap turn? Oh, that's tight that way. Ah, there you go, she turns. Right, can we twist this tap out here? Because I think we've got to take this tap out. I think. Oh, yes. She's coming. I don't know whether these bolts are gonna... I don't know whether any of these bolts are actually gonna undo. Of course, this is one of them engines that came with the Crossley and was stored incorrectly. And if you remember, it had no compression. There we go, we're coming. We're coming. Oops, that's the tap out of the way. Gotta get these, will these nuts undo? Oh, so far. Oh, look at this, so far so good. She may not have been stored correctly, but it seems things are coming undone. I like the quality of this engine, little domed nuts. Ah, this one rang off. It rang off underneath, look at that. So she must have been quite rotten in there. Alright, we'll have to doctor that. We'll have to doctor that later on. How did this tin come off? There's nothing under the flywheel at the back. There ain't no bolts this side. Ah, that look like there's screws here. Yep, it looks like there's little screws there. I hope my thick head don't get in your way too much here. But I'm down to ground level. See, this is wobbling. That looks like the only point that's being held now. Come on, please undo. Oh, look at that. She's coming undone. There are two reasons I'm taking this cover. I don't really need to, because that's about sort of 4 bolts, and the whole engine lift off this frame. But we have got to take the carburetor off this and clean it, because I have filled the carb up with the fuel line and she won't start. Oh, they're both coming undone, look. Hopefully now this tin work will come off, because we're actually going to... Come on. Come on. Hey, there we go. Oh, look at that. The tin work is off. See, I'm probably going to get all this blasted. I might, this is probably a bit thin. I won't get this blasted. I'll do this bit by hand with a sander. But I do want to get the trolley blasted. The engine I'll do by hand. Oh, ain't that beautiful? I didn't realise there's a nameplate in here, look. Oh, beautiful. Look at this radiator. All these metal grills, all these copper grills here for this radiator. This is phenomenal, guys. Absolutely lovely little engine. Wow, isn't that a pretty little thing? Right, well, now we've got that lot off. There's some anti-vibration pads on that radiator. I think they can stay put. Ah, there's the sump bung. I was looking for a sump bung, and I've just found it. One thing I haven't been able to find on this engine is a bloody dipstick to check the oil. Haven't got a clue how you check the oil. Ah, that's where your cylinder bolt off. Your cylinder bolt off here. This pipe out there, that was my fuel line. I wondered what that one was. There. But I say, she all turns over and she got a bit of compression. There you go. But she won't run. Right, I think that's a case of whipping these bolts out here, these 4, and this engine should lift off. It's not coupled to the pump, if you remember. Mag will come off with it, the whole engine and mag should lift off. But where is the dipstick on this? There has to be a way to check your oil, really, just by lifting up this cover. And I can't see a dipstick anywhere. How the hell do you check your oil level? That one's a water drain. Is this a dipstick here? I think there might be a dipstick in the bottom there, look. Oh, there you go. Anyhow, we'll sort all that out once we've got this engine off. Let me persevere and try and get these 4 bolts off. Luckily, they're oily, so I think they will come undone. Or we hope so. Then we've got to get the pump end off as well. Oh, there we go. I'm hoping these will just... Oh, look at that. This is so much quicker than doing 2 spanners, isn't it? Well, he says that. That all depends if we can get on them all. There you go, that's 2 out. We'll probably replace these bolts when we do this, when we put this engine back on anyhow. Yeah, I'll replace them bolts and washers because we're going to get this thing looking nice like the Crossley. Wow, I love it. Where's this? Where's the 4th one, guys? I've got to get on it. Come on, where are you? The good thing is these bolts are not even tight, look. Now you can see the bolt wiggling. That's that one off. This is so much faster than doing these by hand, you know. What did we do before we had windy guns? What's going on here? Ah, there you go. There was a bolt seized on that nut. A washer, sorry. Right, let's see if we can lift this engine out of the way. Hopefully it ain't going to be that heavy. Oh, bugger me! What did he say? Alright, there you go. If you want another washer, you can cut it off Mars. Oh. Shit. Ow! Nothing is light. Honestly, I thought, well, that'll soon lift off there. Oh, blimey, that's heavy. Right. Well, that's narrowed her up a bit. Look at that, look. Right, there we go. That certainly narrowed the trolley up. I think we can be getting this pump off here now. Have I got an appropriate size spanner? We do have an appropriate size spanner, just about. Can I rattle that one off, or aren't we going to be that lucky? Oh, we can try. Let me find a socket what fit on there right. Right, we have a socket. Turns out it's 13/16, so it's not Whitworth. I don't have a 13/16 spanner, so we're going the closest metric we can do, and that's 22, but as long as it undoes, I don't really care. Look at that, straight off. There we go. You know, I think this whole trolley is going to come in 2 bits. No, it ain't. Well, that's a bit flappy, but there ain't a lot of substance to it now, guys. Come on, get on the bottom there, you swine. Come on. There we go. Now this pump should lift out. There we are. There we go, guys. So, that's our trolley. You know, the whole thing is just held together with the engine, look. The only thing holding that trolley together is this centre support here. Right, let's get the wheels off. And that's ready to go to the blasters. I don't believe it. I absolutely love when things just come together. Right. Even the pins are coming out. We'll keep them original pins because they're original to the machine. Come on, out you come. There we go. Pin and a washer. One wheel off. Just flip her over and get the other wheel off. Then we'll have a wheelless trolley. There we are. Alright. Look at that. Alright, where's my little knock-ometer? He ain't gonna come out by hand. I think we need to get a little something here just to push it out. Alright, I've got a long screw here. Will that fit in that hole? No, that's going to get stuck in the hole as well. We need something a bit thinner than that. But what are we going to use? What about this bit of broken drill bit? Yeah, we've got a bit of broken drill bit here. There you go, she's all out. Wash her off. There's my pin. Set your foot on the trolley and work the wheel off. There we go, guys. Well, there you go. That's a very quick disassembly. So, there we go, bud. This will be coming over to you tomorrow with the Fergie wheels. I don't know why I'm doing that, because I don't know whether this video will even go out before tomorrow. Well, there you go. There you go. All ready for the blaster. On another video very soon will be, I'll somehow manhandle that lump of an engine up onto that bench and clear the bench, and I'll get the carb off, clean that out, and yeah, basically give the engine a little going over. But yes, I think we're going to wrap this whole video up here, because I'm piecing this video on the back of another video I've already started. So yes, hopefully that'll be some enjoyable viewing for you and you can see what's going on. Marvellous. So that's it, guys. We're going to call this video a day. Piece it together. You'll have a bits of video. Hope you enjoyed it. We've covered a multitude of things in this little video. Tractor updates. I think we're testing the winch. I think is going to be on there as well. Testing the winch. Tractor updates, sandblasting, trailer updates. And now we've got the little Barnard stripped. So we're ready for our trip to the blasters tomorrow. Engine pump not being sandblasted. I do not want to introduce grit and crap into moving parts. You know what I mean? I'll just wire brush them up. They can get a nice little paint job as they are. You know, they'll be alright. So engine pump, not sandblasting that. I'm certainly not going to strip all of them out to have them blasted and then reassemble them. No. We'll just do the trolley, get that looking smart, get the engine looking smart, drop him back in, pump looking smart, drop him back in. We'll be good to go. Bit like that. Right, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching, like and subscribe, and it's bye-bye for now. Ha-ha! Well, hello man cavers, and what are we doing today? I thought, seeming though the other stuff's going to the blasters in the morning, and this morning I took the pump and the engine off the Barnard pump set. It was, I can't lift that bloody engine back. Well, I probably could get it on the bench myself, but I'm not in the mood for that today. So what I have got on the bench, still heavy, is the pump. This is going to be by far the simplest thing to do. So I think we're going to have a look, go through this pump and maybe give it a clean up. There you go. We'll see what she's like. Let's get on. Marvellous. So guys, here is the pump in question. I have had a little tidy on the bench and I've even hung my spanners up. Look at that. So I got them in order. Right. Don't faint. I know I'm starting to get there. Organised man cave. Right, here we go. I think this pump does turn. But I can hear something in this end. Whether that's a bit of crud in there, a bit of rust, don't know. But these are like hinge pins, 3 of. Although if we buzz them off, hopefully this end will come out and we can just have a wire brush up in there really and clean up. Take this beautiful brass primer tap off and free him up a bit because he is seized. I think he need a polish. See if we can free these up. Are these bolts? These are just bolts. Yeah, so there are bits we can be doing. So I think first thing is give everything a little WD up. You know I love that stuff. I'm going to shock you all now. And a bottle. I was getting ribbed for the amount of aerosols I went through. So I bought some cheap eBay squeezy bottles, and out of an auction I got a job load of solvents and stuff, and there's half a gallon of duck oil. Now, when I was a YTS boy, and I worked for Chris Spragg when I was 16, he wouldn't have WD-40 in the shop. He swore by duck oil. This stuff's been around for years. And when I see that on a job lot of chemicals from an auction, I thought, do you know, there's 2 tins of geyser, half a gallon of duck oil, and endless tins of paint, and that was £3 for a pallet load. or I gotta have it. So, no WD, we'll just put a little bit of this. These are actually brass. I think these bolt nuts here are brass, you know. Would you believe that? We'll put a little bit down on the pins as well. There we go. That's all on the pins. There we go. So our pins are lubed. So hopefully that'll all come undone. Another noteworthy thing is, on here we have a greaser here, look, and a little flap here which opens, and there's a washer what hang on the shaft, and that pulls oil up, so you'd fill that up with oil like my old generator, and that'll keep this whole bushing here oiled. That'll keep this oiled. I'm not going to take all this packing out of here because I don't like packing bearings. If it leaks then we will, but hopefully it won't. So let's see if these will come off. Oh yes. Oh, look at that, they're coming straight off, guys. So these are brass, I think. I'm sure these nuts here are brass. They are, and all brass. Would you believe that? These are all brass nuts. There you go. There you go, she's off. Right, can we get... Let's get the washers off. That's the washers off. That one spins round. These are a bit tight. Oh, there they go. That one's gone. Right. Let's see if we can somehow tap this off. I don't know if we can get behind it. I don't want to hit this with a proper hammer, but I'm hoping. Come on. Right, we might have to. It might be an idea to get a chisel in there. There you go, that's all that needed. Oh, there's a rubber, you know, there's a rubber gasket in there, which is actually not broken. So a good clean up and some instant gasket. This whole thing is brass. George, this whole thing is brass, look. All this outside, there's a big brass plate in here, look. That in for your scrap bin. I know what you're saying, wire in. Ah, here's why I wanted to take, here's our impeller. The impeller turns and it's silent. But if we give it a wiggle, there was a load of crap come out the bottom. This thing is going to leak like a sieve, because look in the bottom of the pump housing. There's a bolt missing out of there, so as soon as you put water in, that's going to come out. Now if I hadn't have took this pump off here, I wouldn't notice that until I went to shove water in, it leaked out. So that could have been a disaster. So we've got to try and find a drain bolt what will fit in there. Let me have a look through a selection of bolts, see if I can find one. Right, off the top of my head, I can't find a bolt what go in there. We can have that for another day. What we will do is get all this crap and grime out of here. I really ought to turn the compressor on, don't I? There you go. We'll get the compressor on, then we can blow this right out. Was this one blowing out with an airline? Yeah. Oh, that's all coming out of this. That's all coming out of this flange, look. Yep, there's definitely some crap in there, but our impeller looks good. Cool, you can see a rust mark here, look, where this has been sitting in this position for absolutely years. But at least this impeller here is not broken. It don't even look that badly damaged. It's still got sharp points on the end where it spins. Cool, they are sharp as well, guys. She ain't even got an end broke off. Ah, there's a little waterway there, look. Do you reckon that's to keep this bearing lubricated? I have not got a clue. Right, let's see if we can get this tap off while that compressor is charging up. Hopefully this will come undone. Alright. Oh, look at that. Oh no. Ah, she's working. Come on. Oh yes, it undoes. Look at that. Solid brass primer tap. Ooh, with a hole. And closed. And open. This is phenomenal. This stuff's going to polish up. Absolutely fantastic. Flange bolts. Do we? No, I think we've got to take them flange bolts out, haven't we? These flange bolts here. Right, I don't like the chances of them coming undone. We'll give them a bit of P. No WD-40, look. So don't get on my coat. Right. Whoa. Well, there's already a bolt in there from this morning, look. I'd lost a nut. And there you go, that gone in there from this morning. That was still stuck in the socket. I wondered where that had gone, you know. Come on, there you go, she's out. Right, there are bits from mounting it on the trolley in there. Let's see if these will come out. Oh, look at that. Come on. We are 13/16. Whoop, whoop, that one's come right through. That one's out. Come on out, there you come. Come on, there you go. Oh, we just got that third one to get undone. Whoa! Come on. She's off. That one was tight, but at least that one has come right out. Which is exactly what we want this to do. Alright, now is this one. I don't want to break these lugs off, so I don't want to tap too hard. I'm just hoping. Now, that was a very gentle tap, by the way. Certainly nothing that would risk breaking that off. Right, let's loosen them with a spanner. Let's see if I've got a spanner about the right size. Oh, there you go. There you go. This is what you was all telling me to do, wasn't it? You was like, don't hit that, turn it with a spanner to loosen it, then tap it out. There you go. One more to go. Come on. Come on. Cool. What the hell? She's a tight one, guys. She is a tight one. I'm not tapping this very hard at all. That's just an attempt to loosen it. Right, let's see if we can shock it undone by hitting my spanner. Oh. Did that go? Or did that not go? No. We might have to induce some heat on this. Oh, bugger me. No. Right. I won't ask you again. I ain't asking again, sunshine. Out you come. Get my wire brush and just go around the joint. Oh, damn. Alright, we'll give this a few minutes. See if we can get some heat into it. Back in a minute. Alright, we've got her about as warm as we can get it with gas. To get that any hotter, you'd need oxyacetylene. All we've got is MAF gas. So we'll see. We'll see if that'll crack loose now. Hopefully. There you go. There you go. Isn't it amazing what heat does? Surprised we aren't having a fire on our hands here. We've got some heat there. What the hell? There you go. That is heated, and once I get this nut out here, and I'm not being so stupid as to hold it with my hands. So once we've got this nut off, that should tap out. Tap it back in. Give him a wire brush. There you go. There we are. That is back out. I'm not going to leave that on the floor because I'm going to stand on it and melt my shoe. There we go. So, I mustn't touch that flange now for at least half an hour. But, all the flange nuts are out. Nuts and bolts. All off, look. There we go. I think now we can be blowing out. Our pump, the compressor is fully charged. So we'll blow out. Yeah, they're all brass. All these little fingers here, including these split pins, are brass. Look at that. I don't want to paint them, so I think what I'm going to do is punch these out before I paint it. So I don't want to get paint on all these brass bits. We'll do that, hopefully, right this second. We'll punch out. There we go. All right, look. Cool. Cool. There we go, that's that one out. Oh, how are we going to get this third one out? That's going to be a plier job. Because, yeah, that's going to be a plier job. Oh, you can't bang it from that way, look. Let's see if we can turn the pin to make sure it's loose. I don't want to damage these pins, you see. They're brass and they're not damaged. So I was hoping I'm hoping that'll just work its way out quite nicely. Should do. This is loose. It's all loose on there. Let me get I am going to have to get a pair of pliers and just tweak that to get that out. But I'm hoping that'll come out without marking it. Come on. Is that coming? Ah, yeah. There we go. There we go. That is all the pins out, so that's all the brass work out. Right, we'll get a blow gun, blow all this impeller out, clean that mounting face up there, and probably, yeah, that'll be about ready to paint once we've cleaned the rest up and found a bolt. Right guys, let's give her a blowout. Mind your eyes. There we go. That is pretty damn good. Ah, you can see that ring, look. That brass oiling ring I was telling you about. Alright, while we're this way up, we can get this greaser out as well, can't we? See how that greaser comes out. There you go. Oh, ain't too bad now. There we are. There's our greaser out. So this is all our brass work. That fitting don't come out of there, do it? No. Right, I think we've pretty much got our greaser and our pump. No, I can hold that now. We can get our greaser and our pump, and that'll do. Well, I like that little nut on there, what stops that from rattling. Right. Do we need to take any more of this to pieces? No, I don't think so. I think we need to clean out. Sure. Alright, okay. Where that greaser goes, I can assure you, that is just congealed, hard grease in there, look. Right where that greaser went in there. Congealed hard grease. There we go. Let's put a bit of magic down there. We might leave this to soak overnight and hopefully soften that grease up what's in there. Mind your eyes. There we are. Well, that, guys, is pretty much our pump stripped and cleaned. And that all looks very good in there. I'm not going to oil all this up at the minute, obviously, because we don't want oil everywhere when we're cleaning this to paint it. Yeah, I am more than happy with that. Right, I think I'll be back. Oh, there's a brass piece on here. Damn. I'll mask it up, so I do not want to take this table wire. If you start doing this, you've got to take this off. Maybe not so bad because there is a grub screw and with some pullers that would probably come off. How are you going to remove that off there? Do you like your chances of undoing that nut on there? See this nut on the end there? What are the chances that's going to ever come undone? In fact, I don't think that is a nut. I think that's actually a shaft. Oh, that is, look. There's a hole here where clearly there's a hole there. Where's the other side to that? Or isn't there? Yeah, it looked like a hole there. Maybe that's just a corrosion hole because there's two. There's one here and one here. Either way, I can't see that impeller coming off there. If you undo all this, take this off, will this shaft come out this way, leaving that on? Possibly. Am I going to? No. There's a packing in there, and what you do is, if it leaks, you just tighten them down an eighth of a turn, equal of course, and that should prevent your water leak. As long as you keep a good supply of grease in there, she will hold the water. Right. Yes, I think that's time. We're going to come back. Yeah, and do the engine next. Or, before I even start the engine, this is a good idea, isn't it? Before I even start the engine, do we complete the pump and put it back together? Do you know what I mean? So get the pump painted, done, and put back together. So the pump is finished, and then concentrate our efforts to get that finished, and then when the trolley is back, paint that, and then reassemble it all. That might be an idea, you know, to actually get this whole thing painted before anything else, before I touch the engine. I think I will, but I do need to, if I can, find a bolt to go in there. But for now, I am going to finish this video because you've seen the pump stripped down. Oh, I've just noticed this red highlight around here. And this is on the bottom where nobody sees it. Yeah, this is the top of the pump. Somebody in the past has painted, or is this all factory, this red highlight in there? There's a red highlight in there and a red highlight around this bit at the bottom. And I don't know why, because nobody's going to see that, because that all sit in the trolley. I don't know, guys. Well, there you go. We'll sort that out next time. But off camera, I'm going to give this thing a good clean. That ain't really that greasy. There's a little bit of grease along there, but not much if I'm honest. This pump is quite dry and quite clean. So I'll give this a good going over with some geyser or something, and then we'll come back when we're going to paint it. Alright, see you later on, guys. So guys, it's day 2 of this Barnard rebuild. I've just been sanding down the original engine cowling, the tin work, that's all been sanded down with the DA. And I found traces of the original colour, the original paint. So somebody had painted this a slightly darker grey. They had painted it this shade. But if we look here, there's a sort of greenier grey there, look. And here, see, that's like the original. I hope that comes out on camera, but that's like the original paint under there. Under that, that's bare metal. So we've got the original paint. And somebody has overgone it with a slightly darker grey. But there's our tin work. We have got rid of all the rust. I'm not painting the inside because that is as solid as a rock. So yeah, we're leaving the inside in the oxide finish. The grille was meant to be grey. I think what I'm going to do though is once I got this painted, I think I might mask the grille out and spray it matte black or satin black. I think that would look a nice bit of contrast. So I just wanted to catch up with you guys as to where we got. This morning I had a little trip. There we go. This morning I had a little trip out to Leverington, near Wisbech, where I took the grey Fergie wheels, the trolley for this little Barnard, the trolley and the wheels we done earlier on in the video. So yeah, Fergie wheels and the trolley have gone to the sandblasters. They should be done. He said he's going to get on with them next week, so in the next sort of, you know, either late next week or the week after, we'll hopefully get them back. By which time I will have this tin work, the pump, after after I finished filming yesterday, I finished that pump and blew some etch primer on it, so that's ready for top coat. I'll get a bit of etch and primer on this today, ready for top coat. And there's another thing we need to do, which is, let me get it. That is this fuel tank. Just needs to get the same treatment. Now, some would say, oh, you should have left that. That had a nice original look. Ordinarily, I would have said, yes, we'll leave it because it has got a nice look. But I worked in paintwork, you know, first part of my adult life. And leaving this, I think you would end up with a rust hole. If you look here, yes, it's solid as a rock at the minute. That's not thin on the back, it's still smooth. So this rust hasn't gone all the way through yet. But I think no matter what you've done with oily ragging, this surface rust here is only going to get worse. It's creeping under the paint. Yeah. If it was better and it didn't have this much surface rust, I would have left it. But this is, you know, prevention's better than cure, guys. And I can tell you, within 5 years, there would have been a hole in there, no matter what you've done. So the only way to do that is get rid of that to bare metal, etch prime, and then 2K prime, and then we can give it a paint. 0, 1 and 2. We have some positions on here marked, which is your choke position, because this flap don't only come down here and hold this flap shut, it's also your choke position, which is really cool. See, that's off, and then when you go to number 1, you can see it's covered the intake grill up at number 1 and locked the cover down, and then number 2 is off again. So I think 0 is to open your door, 1 is choke on, 2, this is uncovered again, so you can leave your door shut and your choke off. So that'll be choke off. Right, but as you can see, all the petrol tank on this is really good. Inside of the door, that's good. So I'm not going to paint the inside of this again, but I will, because not being painted the inside of this, you don't see it. You know, you don't see it, guys. How that basically sits is this. Sits on here, goes right over it like that. That locks onto the tin work what's on the engine, and that's basically all you see. You don't see the inside of that, and this whole thing sits totally over the engine, and you just have the rad cap come out of here. Should there be anything on here, guys, because there's no, it don't look like there's provisions for a bung to hold on it. But what that does is look down onto your valves, because we've got exposed valves on this engine. Is that open so you can little squirt of oil in, or should there be a cap over there? I really don't know. One thing we can be doing, that's gone slightly out of round there, look. And that's going to annoy me. I don't want to paint it with that slightly out of round, so I think I'm going to get a ball peen hammer. See if we can hammer that straight. Watch some of my excellent bodywork skills. Right, you see what I mean? We're slightly out of round around here. Look, it's like flat along there. I want to try and get that back round without doing too much distortion. So we'll just get the ball peen hammer. There you go. There you go. That is pretty much back to round now. There we go. Can I strip any of this brassware? Cool, whatever is this? Cool. Does that unscrew off there? Oh, it does. I take it this is where you fill it up with fuel. There we go, nice solid brass cap. There you go, George, you missed out on a bit of brass. And this, I wondered what this was for. Because it turns. And I was like, what's it connected to on the engine? I thought initially it could have been a throttle. It isn't. Do you know what that is? Let me get this cover back off. Put that one down there. It is actually, it goes through the tank here, look. Comes through, there's your outlet. That's a petrol tap. Do you know that? That turns the petrol tap off from inside. Isn't that ingenious? I don't know how you ever go about changing it unless this knob comes off and when you take the tap out, the whole thing comes out, that rod. Possibly. It would be nice to see if that actually holds fuel anymore. Hey, I wonder if we can do the old blow test. I mean, it's screwing in, but is it doing anything? Well, would you believe that? That actually feels airtight. That is unbelievable. I can hear some crap in this tank. Look at that. Did this all just come out of there? No. I'll have to look on camera. Surely that didn't all just come out of that tank. Whatever it was, there's nothing rattling about in there now. But I do think there's two marks in here. See that? There's like two insert. Do this fit and turn out. There's two flats on here as well. Does that mean this fitting is going to turn out so I can actually get all that rust out from under there without actually painting the machine? Surely not. I can't see how that would turn out. Let's see if my big boy spanner doesn't open wide enough. Okay. Channel lock pliers. They open wider. Well, that seems to be turning. Surely that don't turn out of there. Surely this doesn't come out. That'll be superb engineering if it does. Cool. Alright, that's gone tight. I do not want to knurl this brass up or damage it. So, I think we're going to leave that well alone. So I don't know if that's meant to turn out of there or not, and I do not want to upset the seating. Right, we'll work around that. I would like to get this knob off, if it'll come. Get this knob out of our way. Right. Cool. Look at that. The screw is coming undone, guys. Right, the screw is coming undone. But will the knob come off? Look at that, the knob. I thought this knob was plastic. Again, that's brass. This knob is brass, guys. George, you slipped up on some brass. Yeah, lovely little brass finishes. Right, do this brass catch come off here. Is that a grub screw or a little pin? That looks like a little pin. It is, because it goes all the way through. Alright, what's the likelihood I'm going to be able to knock that pin out of there to get this little brass catch off so I can remove this flap. That's going to be so much easier to do and paint this if I can take all this off, because that's going to get in the damn way. I might have to persevere a bit. Aha! Look. Right, I think we can grab onto this and pull that out. And that'll get this little brass out of here. Come on. Look at that, out she comes. There we go. Pin out. Knob off. There we go. That lot can all stay. I'll put the pin back in there loosely so I don't damn well lose it, because I want to reinstate and keep all these original parts. There you go, the pin's back in. Excellent. Right, I think the next job I need to do is get this sanded off. We're going to leave this tap all in place. That ain't going to get in our way at all. Right, it's going to be a bit noisy, so I'll get this sanded off and we'll be back. Well guys, we're back again. We have sanded this entirely down to bare metal. There we go. So that's all bare metal on there now. I've noticed a couple of little Easter eggs of just how quality these are. These tanks are very thin, very heavy. This tin work is quite thick as well. So this is quite a weighty, strong piece. But also adding to the quality of this, when I've sanded, look at that. There's a brass hinge and that's held on with copper rivets. Look, can you see that? There's copper rivets holding this on. I don't know anything about Barnard or Barnard, whatever you want to call it. Somebody said it's a WO, I believe they call it. I don't know. My mate Jeffrey, he said he's seen Barnards before, but only bigger ones. He's never seen a small one like this. So is this a WO or a different size? If anybody knows, let me know. But I haven't ever had anything to do with Barnard, and it seems extremely good quality. And I'm guessing with all the brass fittings, the brass hinge with the copper, I'm guessing these were quite a quality and expensive unit when they were new. I'm guessing these were not built to a budget. I really don't know. But we do know, you might be able to see that colour better on here, that this was originally, the dark grey is what it's been painted. It's meant to be this lighter grey. The grey it's going to go with some grey I've got in there. So I have got some grey left for that Wolseley. Would that look too whitey though? No, I think we're going to go, I think that's a Wolseley grey I've got, which is quite nice. So yeah, it's probably like the grey Fergie. It was painted with whatever shade of grey they had in at the time. So I'm not one of these people that are too crucial about what shade of grey something should be, because quite often it depended what week of the year it was. So we're not going to get into it too much, but it is going to go a nice Wolseley grey, which is quite a nice grey. So yes, that's a little Easter egg I found on this fuel tank. But as you can see, this tank and that inside is good. I'm not going to bother painting in here. It's protected, it's good, it's fine. So yeah. Yeah, I will have to just flush that tank out a bit. Right, that's all the tin work. Ready for some etching primer at some point. So folks, something completely different now. We've got the engine up on the bench. Yes, I did struggle with this engine. It is very, very heavy. I do like the bracket around here, which protects your mag, because your mag hangs upside down underneath. Look, we will pop that cover off and do the points, but the first thing what we're going to do tonight is take this carb off. Now I've got this engine resting because it won't sit itself upright, so we're going to rest it on the radiator. Don't worry, it's a cast iron radiator and block, and it's not on the tubes, it's just on this header tank. In fact, we'll put a bit of wood underneath. There we go. Right, what we're going to do, looking at it, I think, take off this fuel union so we can get this fuel pipe out of the way. These normally undo, no problem at all. And, yep, no problem at all. So I never normally have any trouble with fuel unions. So we'll get this pipe out of the way. There we go. And I think, looking at it, there's a pinch bolt which you undo, but I don't think your carb is going to slide down enough because it's going to hit on this crankcase. So I think what we're going to have to do is undo them two and take a whole manifold off. Now I think they're 11mm. No, it ain't that size. There we go, it's that one. They are 10mm. What that is in Whitworth, I don't know, but 10mm fits. I'm not rattling these off because I want to feel, oh no, they're not ringing off. I want to feel that they're not ringing off. You know what I mean? I know a lot of YouTubers would just, oh, we'll get the rattle gun on there and rattle them off. But I want to be able to feel if they're ringing off or not. These certainly aren't, they're fine. That's one. Will the other one come undone? Oh yeah, no problem at all. I think I say it on every video, but I do love this old stuff. It always seems to come apart. And I love that, absolutely do. Right, let's give this a tap. There you go. There we go. Carburetor is out the way. What's this here? There's a... Oh, I think that's... Is that some sort of throttle rod? Yeah, that does. That hook's in there. Cool, you got to be careful when you put that back on to make sure this is some form of governor, I'm assuming. Ah, that piece of tin come out of there as well, look. Okay. Yeah, there's a governor under here, look, which clips into your carb. Cool, we've got to make sure we get... There's no pinhole button, that's just dangling in there. Oh no, there is provisions for a split pin and that's missing. Okay, so somebody has been in here before and not put the split pin back. I can damn well see why they haven't. I'll be honest, I can see why somebody didn't put the pin back. Oh, that is going to be a nightmare. Oh my word, that's going to be a nightmare to get a split pin in there. Right, we'll sort that out when we come back. Right, oh, I think I've got to lift this engine back on the floor now. She's heavy. Do you see what I mean when I said quite a few videos back when we didn't have any compression, I said this is a headless engine. You can see what I mean now. There's no brake to get the cylinder head off. The whole thing comes off at the bore. So you'd have to take the whole cylinder out of the piston to get it right off. Which means on top of that, see what I mean? The engine all splits down here, so the cylinder would come off. You then have to take your radiator off. That ain't a major issue, I don't think. I can't see how it's bolted at the bottom. How's that radiator bolted on at the bottom? Right, there's no bolts holding the radiator at the bottom. That's really weird. I mean, the top's quite straightforward. It unbolts up here and comes off this head. But how that comes off the head at the bottom, couldn't tell you. Yeah, anyhow, I'm going to try not to interfere with that. We will just give this a hell of a clean. We can paint all this engine block, paint this flywheel. I did also notice, if I lay this engine back down quickly, I noticed this. Look at that little thing. Do you know what that is? That's a little oiler. Look at that. That's a little oil pipe which goes into the magneto drive. Look at that. So you've got a little oiling point there just for your mag drive. There's your kill switch on and off. That's all really good. There you go. Right, let's get this engine back on the floor and let's get this carb cleaned out. I'm not going to film me lifting that on the floor because it's bloody heavy. Whoo! 3 hernias later, and yeah, we got that off. So let's get into this carburetor and see what's going on in there. Right. Ooh. I think we're just gonna hang on. This little lever slide off, look. This little lever slide over. Do this, and the carb top, look at that. Why don't stuff come to bits that? Why? Why don't stuff come to bits like that now? Right, the reason this is wet is because I did use a syringe and try to fill this carb up with petrol. I don't think it matters which way up that goes. I did try and fill this carb up with petrol to try and get it running, and it didn't pick the fuel up. So I thought, right, that carb needs to come to pieces. What's this here? We've got a bolt here and another one on the top there. That one's just for that little screw. This carb is brass, look. Look at that. Oh, there's a make on it. It's a Zenith. There we are. A complete, can you see that? There you go. That is a Zenith carburetor made of totally out of brass. This could not have been a cheap engine. This has kind of confirmed it now. This was not a cheap unit. This would not have been a cheap engine when it was new. Whether it was a military spec one, obviously being a water pump, they've made it corrosion resistant. But you get sort of Briggs and Stratton water pumps, they don't have bloody brass carburetors, I'm telling you now. They really don't. This is solid brass carb. So whether this is a military spec or burners were just extremely well built, I couldn't tell you. But I want to try and get a main jet out of this. I'm hoping there's got to be a jet in here somewhere. Being brass, that should. It should all undo okay. Woo. Oh, that stinks. Okay, I may have put fresh petrol in there, but oh my word, that does stink. What is that in there? Oh, that was totally clogged with crap block. I couldn't see a thing. I think that's a drain bung for the carb. Yeah, that's just a drain bung. There's no jet. There's a screw fitting in the top. I do hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Oh. I think there was a lock nut on there I should have undone to make that a lot easier. Aha! This is what I'm looking for. Here, this is totally blocked up. Yep, I cannot blow a thing through this little jet. So that is why when I did put some fuel in there with a syringe, that wouldn't undo. This little jet is totally blocked. So I think the little airways in the side, let me see if we can get focus. I think you can see daylight through them. Yeah, I can with the naked eye. I can see through that little hole there. There's a little hole there and I can see through it. So it's obviously blocked in this way. Does this? This turns. And that's loose. Alright, how does this work? Does that screw come out of this fitting? I'm wondering if that interlock, no, I think this screw comes out of this fitting and then we can maybe alright, let me have a play with this. See what I can weigh up. Right. Let's get this gently in the vise. I'm not on the threads, I'm just on that little collar. I want to see if this screw does come out of here. Because this is loose. Alright, let's go another way. Let's nip this in here. Nip the screw and we'll see if we can get a little spanner on here. Do I have a spanner small enough? Right, I don't have a spanner thin enough. Right, let me have a find, and I think I've got a thin. I need an 11mm wash thinned. I might have to get a cheapy spanner and grind one down, or we can come out a bit further. So I don't know if this screw comes out of there. No, that is definitely a small imperial size. Now, I'm going to have a look and see if I can get a spanner to go on that. Well guys, despite my best efforts, I cannot get that out of there. I've had this head of this screw in a vise with a spanner, but it's brass, it slips. I've tried a pair of mole grips. I'm going to break that. If I'm not careful, that's going to break. And I do not want to break it because I'm never going to find another one. But I have noticed I've heated this with the MAF gas really hot to try and break it. And since I've heated it, it's miraculously cleared it. So there must have been a bit of shite in there that it's cleared. To be doubly sure, we're going to get our airline and just whack some PSI in there. And that will certainly clear it out. Oh yes. Whatever blockage we had in there has virtually gone. Whatever blockage we had in there. Yep, that's fine. We can certainly get air through this now. That's good. So we're going to blow out the rest of the car body now. If I come back over here and zoom out just a little, I'll try not to get in your way. We're going to, there's nothing loose in here we're going to hurt. I can't see anything else that comes out. We could blow some air through this port just to make sure there's nothing in there. There certainly isn't. And I think we're going to clear off the bowl. Oh, look how clean this bowl is now. See that? Look how clean that is in there. With 150 psi blowing up its jacksy. A lot of people don't agree. Oh, you too much pressure. You'll break something. Something's going to go. You know, yeah. Obviously, if there's diaphragms and stuff, you're not going to go whack a load of pressure through. But on these old birds, when there isn't really any parts as such, tain't going to do no harm. All our float butterfly is free. The float I had out hasn't got anything in it, that's dry, so that's another good sign. So I think we're going to just get the worst of this gunk off this carb. Again, you're not going to see any of this. This is just for my peace of mind. There's our intake. Excellent. And we'll use some of the next best stuff known to man, which is brake clean. There we go. What the hell? There we go. And this little tiny jet. We'll just whack a little bit through there. There we go. Yeah, that's cleared that right out. Oh, brake cleaner. Tastes lovely. Oh, there we go. We use our cleanest dirty rag just to clean that back up. We want to put everything back together clean. Alright, there's brake cleaner still in there, so we'll just blow that all out. So this stuff just does dry in absolute seconds. So I think we can put this now back in there. I hope I haven't damaged them threads. I tried my very hardest not to. Let me just get this carb in a vise. There we go. Can you see what we're doing? Or are we out of shot? There we are. Alright, now the carb is held still. Oh yeah, we're going back in. I say I was careful not to damage them threads. There we are. That's that back on. This is our throttle butterfly. Ah, that butterfly goes on that governor, so you can control your throttle manually here. But there's a governor, that's why this is on a spring lock. So the governor will pull against it. Oh, okay, that's clever. Right. We got the head of our carburetor, the cap, which is here. So that just needs a clean out. And on the top, get our soft wire brush. Just come around the top there. Give it a clean. Oh, this whole brake clean is good. I'm cleaning my hand up, look. Aha. There we go. I'm sure you're not meant to clean your hands with brake cleaner, but you're not supposed to do a lot of things. Yet we still do it. Alright. Is that a little vent hole? Is that a little vent hole in the top of that cap? I believe, you know, this might be a little vent hole. No, it isn't. Oh no, that don't go through anywhere. Now, there is a small vent hole on the side of the carburetor, right there. There's your little overflow hole. Where are we? There you go. There's a little overflow hole right there. Right, let's just give our float a clean off. He's gone back in there. That's, oh yeah. And there's our needle. Oh, hang on. If there's a needle, there's obviously... Did I blow through there? If there's a needle, there's obviously a jet. Yeah, that's fine. Give it a blow test. Oh, yeah. Yep, so there is a needle what drops through the middle. Yeah, and that just sits on there nicely, look. And then your little flap comes round to hold that cap on. Isn't that special? I absolutely love how these things come back together. Right, that is our carburetor done. How we're going to get the split pin back through that side, I have no idea. We've just got the little drain bung. We better wire brush and clean him. There we go. There we go. Fibre washer looks good. So he goes in the bottom. There we are. Let's get our socket and just do that. There we are. That's where our fuel union goes in, so that's where the fuel of the carb goes in. There we go, she is back together, guys. Right. That'll do. Right, I've had enough, so I think I'm going to go in and I'll join you guys back here tomorrow and we'll continue with this video. Do well.